Welcome back, folks, to Let's Replay Beneath a Steel Sky, and when last we left off, Foster has discovered Link's very sinister plan to replace all of humanity with androids. We don't actually know the plan, because in this timeline, we dealt with Walter before we spoke with him, but we do know because we had those death scenes and we were told about Link's scheme, so let's just presume that we know it. But Foster doesn't know it, as we explore the room that Walter was carefully guarding. There are lots of things to look at, and a way that we can go. We can also talk to Joey. Nothing we can say though, but we can talk to Joey.
Never mind.
Let's have a look at everything, starting with this tank of nutrients.
It's a foul-smelling chemical soup.
I'm wary of trying to use it, but let's try and use it.
I'm not risking my fingers in that stuff.
That's a sensible plan. Let's look at the spillage.
It looks like the stuff that Lamb eats.
Ugh, makes me wonder what everyone in Union City is eating.
It's sticky and slightly astringent, making my fingers tingle.
Also, a very nice touch here, considering that Joey can float, Joey has no problem being over the hole. Let's look at the tap.
It's letting the chemical goo seep out.
Can we close it?
I can't reach the tap without stepping in the puddle.
And we don't want to step in the puddle because of the hole. And we can't look at the hole because Joey is currently on top of the hole. So we'll look at this computer instead, and then at the hole. No, we'll look at the hole now because Joey has moved.
Better be careful I don't fall in there.
You don't want to suffer the same fate that Walter did after all.
The heat from below rises through that.
And it's probably very hot. Let's look at the computer.
No obvious explanation of what it's controlling.
Probably something to do with the environment of the growing androids.
There aren't any manual controls.
Speaking of the androids, let's look at this cylindrical tank.
There's a weird fetus thing floating in it. Whoever said babies were cute?
We probably can't do anything with the tank.
The casing is thin, but very hard.
We're not going to be able to do anything. Let's just leave, shall we? And head this way. There's a door here. Ah, this door would have led us to here, and there's this locking mechanism that I doubt we're going to be able to open. But we'll certainly have a look at it. Also, the numbers go to 5. This one is empty.
This tank isn't occupied.
That's very ominous. Can you open that, Joey? There's no dialogue available.
Never mind.
Let's see if we can open this door ourselves. It looks big and important.
Whatever's behind that door must be important.
Very important, Foster.
There's no way I could push that door open.
Indeed. But what about the locking mechanism?
That's the most secure lock I've ever seen.
Super duper secure! Can we open it?
No manual controls.
Fair enough. There is this door, though. We can go through here. So let's go through here. Aha! We have a terminal, we have a monitor, another monitor, lots of monitors, but most importantly, we have this slot and this interface so that we can access link space. Let's look at everything first before we do anything.
It's displaying some info.
What info? We've no idea. What about this monitor?
It's a view of the reactor.
Oh. Can't do anything with it, but it's a view of the reactor.
This monitor is switched off.
Bet we can't turn it on either. No, we can't. What about all of these monitors?
They're linked to surveillance cameras.
So they can watch everyone in Union City. There is the interface and this slot. We're going to need to do stuff with this interface. Let's see about going back into link space with somebody's card. But we don't actually have anything different that would allow us to change anything. Why don't we see about using our card here and seeing what we can do? Status report, access to restricted area. Let's use the status report first. Status report, nutrient tank drain open. Possible malfunction of Walter 14. Temperature surge detected. Investigation in progress. Emergency life support on. So the androids in the tanks aren't affected by what we've done. We could gain access to the restricted area. Walter, version 2.4 research, clean environment. Have you decontaminated? Access door closed. Let's open it. Maybe we can go further in now that we've done that. Maybe we should save now that we've done that. Because I get the feeling we have just got ourselves into a lot of trouble. Let's save, and let's go back to that door that we have just opened.
You've saved me the bother of coming to find you. I should have guessed you were part of all this. Why do you think Reich had to die when he tried to kill you? Or that meddling girl who tried to help you escape? LINC needs you alive, Overman. That's why it planned this family reunion.
Get out while you can, Rob.
Stop! Tell me what you want from me! You won't be needing this robot where you're going.
Ooh, that looked like it hurt. And Joey doesn't look to be in a very good condition right now. Let's go see if Joey's okay.
It wasn't Joey's lucky day.
Not even slightly. But what about the circuit board?
Poor Joey didn't last long in that shell. I'll take his board as a memento.
What about Gallagher, who confirmed that it was LINC that got Anita killed, and that it was LINC that killed Reich, for Overman is needed alive.
It's an android!
Also, androids bleed green.
Aha! Another ID card from my collection.
We are alone once again. We have this LINC card though. It's red. The plastic card bears a holographic image of Gallagher. We can use Gallagher's card on the interface and go into LINC space with perhaps some new abilities. Why not, eh? We'll save, and we'll use this card, and then head in. It's worth it just to see what Gallagher could do. Let's pop in the chair. Once again, we are back here. What abilities do we have? We have Decrypt, Open, Blind, and Divine Wrath. Divine Wrath is a new one. Let's have a look at that. File, Divine Wrath. Size, 53K. Design, Information Classified. Classified Specification, Union Security, Use Only. One thing to note. Look at this area. Remember that tuning fork program? It's not there, which means that all the things that we've been doing affect LINC space permanently. We've got to keep this in mind, as we do have that Crusader that we need to deal with, and we have just the right set of powers to deal with that Crusader. Let us blind the eyeball, and then quickly go through here and have a look at this Crusader. We want to get past you, and I want to save. Fortunately, we can save in LINC space, because I want to see what happens if you try and walk past the Crusader, or interact with the Crusader. Hello, how are you? Crusader, 38K. Picard and Trout, Union Labs. Crusader will guard the system religiously against all known EDOS configurations. So you're not going to let us through. And I don't think we can perish to you. But you know what we can do? You held out your hand to stop us. Looks like we're going to use this on you. Take zappiness. It's not quite what I was thinking would happen there. I thought it would be a zappy power, but it did work. And now we must leave, for we have done all we can with Gallagher's card. What we want to do now is we want to use Anitas Card. And the whirring computer sound has disappeared, which is always good, because it can be a bit overbearing. The game just can't decide when that wants to be active. Let's sit down once again. This time, we have Anitas Card. And Anitas Card does have the blindness ability. Which is good, because we need that. It's also interesting that it doesn't matter whose card we're using. All that matters for our appearance is who is actually accessing LINC space. Does make you wonder though, is LINC letting us get this far into LINC space because LINC wants us to be reunited? But reunited with who? Our father, maybe? We'll find out, if we get through all this. Let's quickly go through here, and we want to go over to here. There's a crystal here, and there's something within the crystal. Also, this is a really pretty area. Can we do anything with the crystal? Polywrap crystal, 40k. Design, M-Trip, Hobart, Fun Progs. Protect applications from unauthorized eyes. Donations to Hobart Funware, Inc. We want to get that thing. And you know how we're going to get that thing? Remember the oscillator that we have. The oscillator will be very useful. Time to use it. Here is the Helix. Let's look at the Helix. Helix 69k. Design, Hobart Institute of Cybernetics. To combat the caudal syndrome, checking the growth of rogue tissue in smart systems. We want this. We now have the virus. And that's all we came in here to get right now. Let's disconnect. Time to head out and head through that door that Gallagher came through. Fortunately, there was only one Gallagher. So we'll go this way now. Ah, there are quite a few things going on here. There's a huge tank, a console, another huge tank, and an exit. Let's look at this huge tank, shall we? We can't do anything with this because the door is open.
Whatever's in there is extremely cold. It could be liquid nitrogen.
It might very well be that.
Instant frostbite if I put my hand in there.
Oh, you're not kidding there. Let's look at the tank.
There are strands of tissue suspended in this tank.
Interesting.
Whoa, the liquid in the tank has burned my hand.
That is extremely acidic. We do not want to put our hands in that again. We also want to save, because you never know. Peril could appear from any corner now. There is this console. We might want to do something with this.
The computer is controlling the tank and displaying its readings on the monitor.
Fair enough. There's also a pair of tongs here. You may not notice them if you're not observant. They're quite important.
They're like the ones used by surgeons.
We want these. And we also want to look at them in our inventory, of course. Let's have a look. Imprinted on the handle are the words surgical steel, made in Hobart. Our inventory, by the way, is really full right now. But not completely full. Let's look at this console.
Pressing the keys has no effect.
We're going to need to put a card in here, I imagine. And I think I know whose card we're going to put in. Anitas Card. The one with the virus.
Ha! The virus has caused the program to crash.
And that's exactly what we wanted to have happen. Let's get something from here using the tongs. The tongs will make recovering things from the tank quite safe. And let's look at the thing that we've got. We can't actually look at the thing that we've got. We can only look at the tongs. Let's use them on this huge tank here.
The tissue is frozen now.
Marvelous. Any change to the description? No, absolutely no change to the description. But we've done everything that we can here. Let's go this way. Look at these 3 androids. Look at all of the consoles that they have next to them. And this door. Let's examine all of them.
It's a fully formed android body.
That it is.
Hey, wake up, rubber features!
You're glad that that did not work. Any different descriptions for these two?
It's a fully formed android body.
No, I doubt it. There is, however, a console and a cabinet. Let's look at this console.
A computer for each of these androids.
Interesting. And the cabinet.
The cabinet has a door.
Let's open it. There's nothing in there, is there?
There's an expansion port in the cabinet.
Oh, interesting. We can close that and look at the console itself. And we're going to save. You may realize why I'm saving here. Because we're about to do something very silly. Walter V2.4 Development Program. Character board, not installed. RNM functions, 9,351 megabytes. Character data, 929,598 megabytes. We can run RNM program. We can download the character data, or we can run the startup program. Let's run the RNM program first. Already defined. What about the startup program? We could do with having an android around. Oh, wait. Oh. That is a powerful punch. But yes, if you just activate the androids, they have their initial programming, which is, hey, you're not meant to be here, and then they punch you in the face. Don't do that. Instead, do something different. Insert Joey's circuit board into the cabinet. And then use the console and download character data. Character data already downloaded. We can't with this one because there's already a personality installed. Let's look at the circuit board while it's here, though.
Joey's board fits snugly in the port.
Indeed. But this one is not the one that we want to do this with. What about this one? Character board not installed. Character data nil. This is the one that we want to do this with. This one has no personality defined. Let's, out of curiosity, have a look and see if there's a different personality here. There's no reflex or motor functions in this one, so this one wouldn't really work when it comes to installing Joey. So, we'll ignore that one. And instead, we'll put Joey in here. There we go. Use. Download. 849,039 megabytes downloaded. Now we can run the startup program.
How do you feel, Joey?
I'm not entirely sure, sir. I feel soft and curiously vulnerable.
That's because you're practically human.
And this feeling of insecurity is natural?
Oh yeah, you'll get used to it.
By the way, sir, take my advice. Don't wake the other androids.
Why not?
If they've been programmed, they'll terminate you.
Good piece of advice. We have a lot to talk about. The first thing we're going to do, though, is we're going to thank Joey for what he did with dealing with Gallagher.
Thanks for saving me from the android.
My actions were the only logical course. What I cannot comprehend is how an android could behave in such an irrational manner. Why, it was almost as if he was human.
He practically was in many respects.
What did he mean by a family reunion?
Since your mother was killed, that leaves only...
My father.
You never speak of him, do you?
That's because I can't remember him.
Can or won't, sir?
Good question, Joey.
Are we close to LINC's core?
Almost certainly, sir. I can sense its presence in a strange and mysterious way.
Like the old man. The pictures in the campfire. He saw it too. The evil beneath the city. And then he died with the rest of the tribe.
This isn't the time for remorse, sir. You must destroy the evil and avenge their deaths.
Joey's far more talkative in an android body and has a much deeper personality. Maybe he shouldn't be called Joey anymore.
I think you need a new name, Joey.
I concur with your observation, Mr. Foster. What do you consider an appropriate sobriquet?
I'm gonna call you Ken.
That's wonderful news, sir. Tell me, are there any memorable Kens in history? A Ken whom I might seek to emulate?
All the Kens I can think of were dorks.
Splendid! It will be my mission in life to make the name Ken synonymous with dorks.
Interesting objective there, Ken. You might be able to pull it off, or you might not, considering how little of the game there is left.
How do you like your new body?
It's wonderful, sir. There's just one thing.
What's that?
When will I be getting the accessories?
I don't know what you mean.
Ears, body hair, those little decorative parts?
You're better off without them, believe me.
And that is all the conversation that we can have with Ken.
Never mind.
And when we come back, folks, Joey has been replaced with Ken. We have a new companion. A companion that is almost completely human. And when we come back, folks, we shall go for the reunion. We must reunite with our father. And one way or another, this will end. And so, I'll catch you next time, folks, and I'll see you then. Later. Also notice, there's a flashy button here. It's not here, because Ken is no longer in that station. Look at that attention to detail. Also, look at this, being there and not there. We could also take the circuit board back. Let's do that.
Joey's board fits snugly in the port.
We only downloaded the data after all. We'll recover this. Later.